Great to get the first win. It's always good to open the season with a big win. Hats off to Austin Peay. Thought they were a good football team. Very, very challenging game for us. A lot of good things, a lot of things we need to correct. I think it was kind of apparent to everybody there's some situational football that we can get better at. But proud of our guys. They battled hard in a tough football game right out of the gate, and I thought they responded well, particularly in the second half. When guys needed to make plays, they stood up and made those plays, so really proud of those guys. With that said, questions?
Coach, you said going into this, going to be a four-quarter game, one-point game going into the fourth. I believe 180 yards total offense up to that point, only 20 in the third quarter. But what did you see opening up there in the fourth to kind of open things up?
We just finally found a rhythm. We went right out of the gate in the second half. We went 2 3 and outs and just, couldn't get that rhythm. And for us, you got to be able to get the drive started, move the chains, make a big play, and then now we got you on your heels a little bit. And once we started to do that, then, we looked like ourselves. But a lot of really good things from the offense. A lot of really good things. There's just things that we got to find that rhythm. We got to get a little more in sync. We had the one turnover on the interception down there on the drive, that was disappointing. But I thought the guys battled hard. I really did, and I thought Austin Peay was a good team that gave us a good challenge today.
Coach, when you talk about good things, talk about Malachi Corley. There was talk that he could have a breakout year, having a hat trick in the opening week of the season. What can you say about him and just how well he played today?
No, he was great. We gave him the game ball today, so that was awesome. He made a great catch on the touchdown, and I always tell the guys all the times, I said, when the lights turn on, the players show up, and he showed up today for sure, so really happy for him.
Tyson, you kind of mentioned some plays there. Austin probably could have got back. You mentioned that turnover, but overall, what do you make of this first start today?
I thought it was solid. I really did. Early on, a couple things here and there. It wasn't as much him as it wasn't open. And so we talk about take a play, don't make a bad play worse, or take care of the ball. And so I thought he did good there. There's some definite things we need to correct. We'll look at the film, but I thought he was solid overall. And my biggest talk to him going into this game was, we're not looking for special. We're just looking for a winning effort, and that's what he gave us today.
Coach, kind of talk about the defense. They had 2 interceptions, one of those being a pick 6, but also, just their intensity was really high today. How good is that for your defense?
Yeah, I was really, really happy for our defense. Very, very, ton of times. I can't say enough about big stops, huge turnovers. Thought they were in sync pretty good. Love the fact how we rolled guys. We had some guys go down with injuries that were a couple of key players for us. I think we'll get those guys back, but they were out for the rest of the game, and some other guys stepped in and played really good, so that was a good sign. We had the one big double pass that we gave up there, but it was a good first outing for our defense. A lot to build off of for sure. We got to stay healthy though. That's the biggest thing for us.
Specifically on the defensive side, Donut had to play behind guys the last few years. What did you think of him, out there today, leading you guys?
Good solid performance. I thought the guys were flying around the whole time. You could see Donut out there. I thought our big men on the inside made a lot of, tackles for loss, and the biggest thing was the turnover piece, creating the turnovers. That, if you're going to win a lot of football games, if you can create the turnovers that we did today.
Coach, you said you would watch the film later, but just, kind of looking at the game from first to second half, what were some of the good changes you saw that kind of helped close the game out in the end?
Well, we talk about all the time, get to the last 5 minutes of the game and then go win it. You're going to have ups and downs throughout the game. With it being the first game and Austin Peay being a good football team, it's about what I expected, to be honest with you. So we went in the locker room at halftime and told the guys, I said, I need the players that are our main players to step up and make plays, and those guys did. I think at Daywood, he made a huge catch for a touchdown, and Malachi makes another huge catch, and then defense makes some huge stops. And so, there's a lot of things in the second half that if you want to be a good football team, you got to do those things, and I thought we did that today.
You talked about rhythm. How tough is it to expect a lot of rhythm when you got new pieces? And I know it's part of college football, but this team especially is, a lot of new pieces. To build it by the fourth quarter, I guess you have to be encouraged.
Yeah, there was, again, a lot of the first game things that happened out there offensively, that showed up. You try not to do those things, but at the end of the day, I didn't think we hurt ourselves in the first half, to a certain extent. We weren't turning the ball over or those kind of things. And as long as you do that, you're giving yourself an opportunity to win. And again, we say get to the last 5 minutes and go win the game. And that's what I was impressed with our offense. When they came out in the second half, the guys started to gel a little bit more. Again, we had the 2 3 and outs. That wasn't good to see. We got to start fast in the second half. But when we finally caught rhythm there, that was good. And yes, we have new pieces. But I think for the first outing, if we can make the corrections that we need to make, I'm excited about where we're headed.
Going back to the offense and the run game seemed kind of similar to last year. We had a few guys kind of come together for right around 100 yards. What do you think of that kind of part of the offense?
I thought they ran hard. They were big physical guys inside for Austin Peay. I mean, pretty looking guys, and they held the line of scrimmage very well. I thought our runners ran hard. There wasn't a lot of air in there at times, and I like in the fourth quarter when we handed the ball, they made some nice runs to move the chains, and so we'll just keep building off those things.
And with the offense, what did you think of Austin Reed in his debut as a Western Kentucky Hilltopper today?
I thought he was solid. A lot to build off of, though. We gotta go back and see, okay, what did we do wrong and how do we get better? And there's a lot of things we can get better at, but. Again, I talked to him before the game. I said, number one thing is go win the game. That's all that matters, and that's what he did. Very tough today. He was very tough, played hard, was a good leader. He's a guy that he'll battle for this team, give his heart and soul. So I'm happy when he's back there. When he's the quarterback, I'm happy.
I was going to ask you that. Did it surprise you at how composed he was out there at times, especially his first Division I college football game, and especially coming off of what Bailey did last year? There was a lot of talk about this year's starting quarterback. Were you surprised at how poised he was?
No, that's about Austin. There was a couple throws early that he's made that he just, he had some pressure and he had to break out of the pocket and he just couldn't get his feet underneath him. Hopefully, as we progress, maybe he makes those throws. Second half, he made some really, really good throws. We had a couple drop balls there in the first drive of the second half. But, yeah, I thought he was a good leader for this team. The guys believe in him. Very, very tough guy. So, overall, again, I would say solid performance.
Coach, of course, this was the first college football game in the entire year, so maybe a couple more eyeballs on the team. But what do you think about the Hilltoppers, their statement that they made to pretty much the country for their 2022 season?
Well, it was great to be the first, team right out of the gate. Hopefully, everybody got to see what the Hilltoppers are all about, and and anytime we can be on that platform, it's always something that we want to do, and didn't care it was the early game. We just want to be able to showcase our brand.
Corey kicked a couple out of bounds. There was a couple punts first half where normally you might not see guys return some of those. I know Tom had to, make a tackle too. What do you think special teams wise? Because you did coach special teams.
Yeah, a lot of things that we can correct. It was good effort, a lot of good effort things, but like you said, 2 kickoffs out of bounds. That's uncharacteristic of us. We were over pursuing on the long punt return. We had guys down there. They're running fast, but they're not coming to balance and making the tackle. They're just flying past the returner. Had an opportunity for a turnover on a punt return, and we throw it right back up to the guy. There were several other things, so a lot of things to fix on special teams as well. But at the end of the day, celebrate all wins, right? So we're going to celebrate this win.
Any more questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.